So, Parkland shooting survivor Cameron Kasky was just on television speaking on the mass shooting in Minnesota that took the lives of 2 children in the first week of school and wounded and traumatized many others. And here's what he said.
An 8-year-old Fletcher and a 10-year-old Harper were murdered, 18 others wounded, countless others traumatized, and they are going to be living in this community that they associate with this violence for the rest of their lives. This is something that you bring with you everywhere you go. But I want to talk about another child real quick. A 22-year-old child named Thomas Fugate. He was a Trump intern that is now leading the counterterrorism and threat prevention at the Department of Homeland Security. The first thing my classmates and I recognized after the shooting at our high school that killed 17 people and injured 17 more was that this is political. And everybody who wants to tell us not to politicize the tragedy is deliberately trying to gaslight this country out of understanding that tragedies like this are as political as you can possibly get. Now, this Thomas Fugate, 22-year-old Trump intern, he fired 75% of the staff and said that the focus should not be on domestic terror or domestic shooters. The focus should be on illegals. This administration and their policies, which the Parkland shooting happened during the first Trump administration, which was a disaster of its own. This administration is directly leading to mass murder. And it goes further than this. This department that has this 22-year-old boss coordinates the cross-agency tips, and it exists to catch people like this before these shootings happen. And this shooter—
You mean like the shooter in this case?
The shooter in this case was blatantly posting about how this was going to happen. The shooter was blatantly posting, admiring other mass shooters, being a super fan of them. The shooter at my high school— people were making fan accounts for this guy. And on these online forums that this new administration is trying to dismantle our ability to monitor, people are inspired by these other shooters. Now, these cuts that were made to grants to CP3, which is run by DHS, funded local programs at the Minnesota Department of Public Safety to manage mass violence threats. Just last month, July, the DHS pulled funds, saying that it was a left-wing slush fund.
As Cam says, we need to stop this let's not make it political rhetoric, because mass shootings and school shootings and allowing our children to get murdered in school and doing nothing to stop it, that's about as political as it gets. At the end of the day, one party created an Office of Gun Violence Prevention and the other party shut it down. So don't try and gaslight us into thinking there is nothing the government can do to fix this, because the people running the government could fix this. They just choose not to. And now the Trump administration has put a 22-year-old with no experience in charge of all of our safety. And he has said that the government's focus shouldn't be on domestic terror or domestic mass violence threats, but on illegal immigrants. When Trump's own Justice Department released a report in January saying that undocumented immigrants have a far lower crime rate than U.S.-born citizens. As Cam points out, failing to monitor the type of people on mass shooter fan sites or sites like Reddit or Discord or 4chan talking about gun violence or holding murderers up like martyrs, as the recent shooter did, gives us every indication that we're only going to see even more mass violence and death in the future. It should not matter your political persuasion. Hiring people like Thomas Fugate to run the counterterrorism and threat prevention and allowing him to fire 75% of the staff and change the mission from something that will actually protect us to something that just costs vast amounts of taxpayer money to make little to no difference to our safety is a tragedy. So talk to your friends, call your reps, join an anti-gun violence group, and support the politicians that want to take gun violence on rather than just pray it'll go away. Because there is a place for prayer. But solving mass shootings isn't it. Just like there's a place for 22-year-old interns, but running American counterterrorism isn't it.